What's going on, growers? It's James Prigioni coming to you live from Jersey. Today, we're going to be adding another video to the rare fruit series. The one I'll be going over and showcasing today is GOUMI berries. Let's go! Right now, I'm looking at the food forest, but from the other side of the fence. For this video, we had to hop over the fence to my neighbor's. He's the one with the GOUMI berry bush. So as you can see, he does like an edible landscaping style. And he's got a lot of different kinds of fruit trees and bushes and things. So this is the GOUMI berry bush. First, I want to give you a quick overview of the size of it, what it looks like, and then we're going to go more into detail of where it can grow, tasting some of the fruit, and all different kinds of particulars like that. So as you can see, it's relatively large. These things grow very quick too. One of the reasons the GOUMI berry bush grows so quick is because it's in the genus Elaeagnus, along with other plants like silverberries and even autumn olives. And most of the plants, if not all, in the Elaeagnus genus actually are nitrogen fixers. So what they do is they form a symbiotic relationship with bacteria, and what they do is they take atmospheric nitrogen and put it down at the roots in nodules. So that allows them to grow very quick. That also allows them to perform really well in actually poor soils. Typically, they'll grow in hardiness zones from about 5 to 9. On average, when full grown, they'll get about 6 to 10 feet tall, and they're drought and wind resistant, which is a good thing. When it comes to the leaves in the plant, it'll be hardy to about -4 degrees, but the roots can actually take lower temperatures than that. The GOUMI berry bush is a great companion for fruit trees because not only is it a nitrogen fixer, improving the soil around it, but it's also both sun and shade tolerant. So it'll perform well in the shade. So it's a great addition if you want to have it in a food forest or something. And it's also non-invasive. So it's not going to be sending up shoots all the way out here and taking over your whole garden. It will send up some shoots local to the plant that if you don't remove can form into full-size bushes. And also, if you allow a lot of the fruit to ripen and drop on the ground, it will spread by seed. The young seedlings are relatively thorny, but as they mature, they'll lose some of that. And the typical named varieties, they're not too bad. Like this one here, it's not gonna like poke at you like a gooseberry would when you're going to harvest or anything like that. When it comes to pollination, they're partially self-fertile, but if you have 2 or more bushes, that'll definitely increase your harvest. I want to bring you closer to show that they're not very thorny when they mature. This branch here doesn't even have any thorns on it, but as we come in to this section here, we can see just a couple little thorns here and there, but nothing really too bad that'll poke you. I mean, there's a pointy one right there, but not too much by the fruit, and it's not like something where you brush your arm against, you're just gonna get cut up really bad. So when it comes to propagating them, they actually will root relatively well from softwood cuttings. So that's a good thing about them. I would say it's a lot easier to propagate it through cuttings like that than starting your own seed, because the seed can take a long time to pop up. Unless you want to just allow some of them to fall to the ground and then just grab the seedlings off the ground, let nature do the work. That seems to be a much easier way to do it. So you can see we've got a good amount of fruit in here, and typically they'll take about 2 to 4 years to fruit. But about the 4th and the 5th year is when they really start coming on heavy. And then they'll fruit real well for about a decade, and then some of that actually production can drop off a little bit. I really enjoy the flavor of the GOUMI berries, but it's not something you're really gonna find in the food stores because it just doesn't have the shelf life. It doesn't last long enough. So I'm about to try a few now and bring you along for it, let you know how they do taste. But a lot of times in those stores, the only things they really sell are the things that last long on the shelves. Even when it comes to things like tomatoes, the varieties, they'll sell the ones that store well, not the ones that taste the best. So it's kind of like what Bill Mollison says. If you want organic food, you have to grow organic food. You got to put the work in yourself. If you want to eat rare things like GOUMI berries or even gooseberries and stuff, you've got to grow them. If you guys are enjoying the video, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to contribute to the channel and what we're doing out here, then check out the merch down in the description and the little thing at the bottom where you can scroll underneath the video. When it comes to harvesting the GOUMI berries, you want to make sure that they're really ripe, because if they're not, they can be relatively astringent. They've got a nice sweet flavor to them. I really enjoy them, and this is one that looks like it's nice and ripe here, as you can see the color of it. And they've got these silver little kind of dots on them, which is kind of unique to the Elaeagnus. As you can see, they have a little silver on the leaves as well too, little dots, and even on the stems. So again, you're going to want to make sure they're nice and ripe so they're not astringent. They've got a very thin skin, and it's a sweet kind of flavor to them. It almost reminds me similar to like something like a grape, the texture on the inside, but I really do enjoy them. They're sweeter than I even thought they were going to be. So I've got a ripe one here. Let's try it out. It reminds me of a pitted grape or a seeded grape. They've got a little pit in them, just like a seeded grape would. And it's almost like a slip skin, how it comes off like an American grape. And it's got a very sweet flavor, and as long as you time it right, the astringency is very low, but it's almost like, I don't know if you know what the astringent is like. It's almost like a chalky kind of feeling, but that's why you got to make sure you get them when they're very ripe. If they're not ripe, they can be pretty astringent and it'll dry your mouth out pretty quick. When the GOUMI berries are flowering, they actually have a nice fragrant smell to them, and as you can see as we get into here, it's still a relatively good production for only having one plant here and being partially self-fertile. And the fruit is nice and small and red. You can see when they're more ripe, like right here, and then when they're not as ripe, like much less red in the color right here. So they're pretty small, similar to the size of a cherry. I believe they're a drupe. And as we move down here, you can see some more beautiful GOUMI berries under there. But they're also considered to be not only an edible, but a medicinal in some places like China and stuff. So they're good for cancer fighting properties. I believe they have high levels of vitamin A and C, and that's always a good thing. So it's not only eating food for to sustain us, but also to help provide food and medicine for us. So here's a really nice ripe one here, as we can see. So again, we want to make sure we're getting them when they're ripe, and I think it's something that we should definitely all add to the garden. I know that I'm going to be ordering a couple of them, and I'm going to be getting some cuttings from this and adding into the food forest, both the old one and the new food forest. Another thing that I wanted to add regarding the GOUMI berry is that it's relatively pest and disease resistant. So once you start getting into the production, it's going to be relatively reliable. And like I had previously mentioned, it's resistant to drought and wind. So overall, just super reliable. And once they really start producing, high production, just excellent all-around plant. It's a companion for other things. So it functions just besides providing food. And that's what we love in permaculture. So after I've tried these, after I've seen them grow, without a doubt, I got to give the GOUMI bush a thumbs up. That's today's video, growers. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Back on my side of the fence. I love doing these videos, these rare fruit series, and I've got a couple more coming up. Actually a number of them, but I just don't like doing them until I have the fruit to harvest, to eat, to show you, to give you a whole picture of what it's like to be able to grow this kind of stuff in your own backyard. Take advantage of the opportunities we have and not just grow only the typical things. I mean, I love growing things like tomatoes and peppers and eggplants, but even with those, we get different varieties. Like I said, the things you can get in the store. And diversity is like the spice of life. That's why we love growing a diverse garden, like a food forest, where we get just a taste of everything. We walk around, we bump into something, and we find another kind of fruit. Like these cherries right here. Fresh, delicious cherries right from the Rainier Cherry tree. Pop a couple of those off. This one actually looks like it's split from some rain, but this one just looks perfect. So these are a little bigger than what we were working with the GOUMIs, but again, I love adding things like GOUMI berries, having the different tastes, things you just can't get anywhere else. When it comes to cherries though, I mean, that was delicious, right off the pit. That's why we do this. That's why we grow our own food. We get to be a part of nature. We get to work with it. We get to enjoy ourselves. I can hear Tuck scratching at the door. He wanted to say hi and what's up to everybody on the channel before I left. It's hard for me to make a video without having him in it because he really is the MVP of the channel. Put some likes, some comments down for Tuck. If you appreciate him, that he actually works hard all the time, never takes any days off. He's always out here protecting the garden and enjoying himself with us. Let me go grab him real quick. You may have heard him scratching in the background. So he always tries to get through. He's kind of relentless, but that's one of the reasons we love him. He's so alive. Once he gets into here, he just likes going around, smelling everything and just being a part of the whole garden. There's always something he missed. He's on his way already. It's hard to keep up with him, especially in the food forest like this, when it truly is a forest. So even since I last updated you, really recently, a lot of things have progressed. The grapes are getting bigger. We've pruned them back even more to open up light. And the more fruit we actually are getting here, the more videos I'm going to be able to make. And grapes, they aren't something rare, but I've got some other hidden things, some stuff that I kind of try to keep close to my chest. This way you guys can get as excited as I am when we start producing these videos. If you have any other ideas on different things you think we should grow, let me know down in the comment section. I'm always open to ideas and suggestions. So that's really going to be most of the video. Let me just turn around and say our final goodbyes. Actually, as we peek into the chicken pen where we've got Savannah in here working. We've had her for, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years now. So she doesn't produce as many eggs as she used to, but she's in retirement. She did a lot of work for us. And you can see Percy, she's in there too, hanging out in the chicken pen. That's gonna wrap it up. Me and Tuck are gonna stay out here and do some work. We feel blessed that we get to do work out here and enjoy ourselves, to grow our own food and have fun doing it. If you guys wanna continue to follow along and you wanna be here for the next rare fruit video, which will be coming out pretty soon, then hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Become part of the notification squad and get those comments in as quickly as you can so we can answer them and we can connect with all of you. And if you want to contribute to the channel, if you want to be a part of Team Grow, then get some of the merch, get some of the shirts, and there'll be a link in the description, and there'll also be something scrolling right at the bottom. Talking James Pruitt, I'm going to be back at you real soon.